Hello folks, I hope you can hear me over the tractor noise. It's been a while since we've done anything with the Allis, but at least that I've shown. I've been brush hogging with it, but today I'm trying to get this upper garden plowed. I'm running very late. It's the third week of May. This should have been done at least a week or two ago, but it's been too wet and rainy, and as you can see by the consistency of the soil I'm dealing with here, it's heavy clay. So it's pretty wet. It's almost borderline to try to plow, but I'm afraid if I don't at least get the soil ripped up now, it's going to really be a problem because I've got to get seeds planted before too long. So I'm going to try to see if I can't get this one. The lower garden might be too wet to even try this. But I made 3 passes through and it's okay. I can get the tractor through and not get stuck. So, and I'll show you some more in a second on that. You know the Allis, of course, from previous videos. Here's an attachment that you probably haven't seen on my YouTube page. I can't remember if I did any videos with this before. This is a 2-bottom Allis Chalmers Plow. It came with the tractor as part of the package. And it's Allis's early version of a 3-point hitch. It's not really a 3-point hitch. It's actually what they call a snap coupler. It's similar to International Harvester had what they call a fast hitch. So I'll show this to you for those of you who aren't familiar with it. I know you Allis guys are, but here on the D14, if you look underneath there where the tongue of the plow is going under, you'll see that the end of the plow is a loop, a steel loop, and there's this cup that sticks back, metal cup. This one's banged up a little bit. And what you do is you back the implement, or you back the tractor into the implement, sliding that tongue, that round tongue, into that cup. And when it gets to the back, there's like a little hook like this that catches. It's going that way, of course. It catches and holds the loop in place. So that's snap coupled, if you want to put it that way. There is a release bar on the tractor here. Right here is the release for the snap coupler, so that when you're taking it off, to disconnect that, all you do is you pull on that. Now, it's 3-point in the sense that both of these support arms here attach to these lift arms on the plow. As you can see here, let's see if this comes flying out and hits me in the head. No. These things are spring-loaded. It just hooks over these hooks like this and sits in there, and then you lock it in place by pushing those down. And I have the lift all the way up on it, of course, now, and you'll see as we go to start this, all I do is drop it down, go to the end, lift it up when I get to the end, and then I come around for another pass. Because this garden slopes downhill like this, I'm only throwing my furrows uphill. I'm not going this way and then coming around and throwing the lower furrows downhill, because I'm trying to avoid erosion as best I can. So it takes a little longer this way because I'm going out, driving back empty, making another pass, driving back empty, etc. But again, it's to preserve the erosion in the field. I don't need, or in the garden, I don't need stuff washing out when there are things planted here. So I'll try to do it that way and see. That's what's worked for me in the past. It's not as quick as if you were to do it the other way, that you just kind of plow both directions. If I had a flatter field, I certainly would, but since I don't, I can't, so this is what we're doing. So I'll come back to you when I'm on the tractor and we're ready to go. Okay, I'm back now. As you can see, I'm going to grab a hold of my lever here, my rising and lowering lever for the arms. And as you can see, let me take this off my neck so I can move the camera. There we go. If you watch, when I pull the lever down, they drop all the way down, which is where I want. You fire up the throttle here and we'll take off, and you can watch the furrows turn. Here we go. Sorry if this is all shaky. right up. See a nice deep furrow. Of course, this will need a lot of conditioning. I wish I had a drag disc. That would be ideal. I used to have one years ago, but I no longer do. And the ones I've seen around here are relatively expensive, the smaller ones, because all the hobby farmers want them. So I could go probably with a 10-foot transport disc if I had the money for that, but I don't either, so I'll keep my eyes open. For right now, I'll just let this knock down a little bit, and then I'll run the tiller through it a few times. It's not as easy or efficient, but it gets the job done. Like I said, where I live here, I have all this heavy clay, so it's not easy to work the ground. But it is good. The ground, this clay is really good for things like green beans, sweet corn. I do well with tomatoes here. Stuff that needs more of a loamy soil, such as like carrots or other root crops, don't do quite as well. I do okay with potatoes. All right, I'll let you watch another round here. This little Allis has plenty of power to pull those two bottoms, even through the heavy clay. And I really don't need anything bigger. The garden isn't huge. If I was plowing fields, of course, I'd want a bigger tractor and bigger plow, but hey, this is a whole lot quicker than tilling it all from scratch. So, as you can see, it'll probably take me another 15-20 minutes to do the whole thing. But I was glad that this plow was part of the package with the tractor, because I couldn't use a regular 3-point plow with the snap coupler set up unless I wanted to buy the Allis conversion kit, which is $300-400. So this works fine, and I could have gotten a pull-behind plow on with wheels, I guess. But this fits. This is matched to this tractor fairly well. You can see it cuts nice furrows. I'll take you through one more pass. Excuse me. You just pull up here. And there we go. It's tough to do all this stuff one-handed. Like I said, it's almost too wet yet to plow, but I don't have much choice. So there you go. We did the ride along with the Allis D14 and the 2-bottom plow. I did get coulters or side cutters with it. I'm missing one of the brackets to put them on, and I really wasn't worried so much. That's more for needing to cut the junk, what they call the trash, last year's refuse, you know, the plant material. So, but I didn't worry too much about that, because before I got into the garden here, I brush hogged all the stuff, the old growth from last year, as well as any new stuff that was coming up, the weeds and so on. It was so wet here last year, there was no way I was getting in to do anything in the garden. 2 years ago, I actually, at the end of the season, it was dry enough that I could plow it at the end of the season, so I didn't need to hassle with it in the spring. All I had to do was run the tiller through once or twice and it was ready to go. But that wasn't my option this past year, so I'm playing catch up, but that's okay. you're at the mercy of the weather whenever you live out in the country and do any kind of outdoor work. So at any rate, I hope you enjoyed our little plowing demonstration here. Thank you for watching our channel, Country Living on a Shoestring, and we ask you please subscribe and tell your friends about it. We'll try to, as we get into the gardening season and the spring and summer season here more, hopefully there'll be more and regular videos. I'll show you planting the garden and garden growing, other activities we might be doing throughout the course of the year. They'll be picking grapes, there'll be a number of things. So thank you for watching, and we'll be back to you sometime soon.